Hey everybody, it's Amber, and I am always super excited to go live with you all. If you're catching this live, hey. If you're catching it on the replay, hey. Cool beans, glad you tuned in. And either way, I've got a good show for you guys. So today I'm coming a little off the hip because I really planned to talk about something else, but I ended up hearing a message and having a conversation earlier that really stirred me to talk about this instead. So I'm just going to roll with it. So today I want to talk about how to handle the fear of showing up as who you really are. Let that sit with yourself for a minute. How to handle the fear of showing up as who you really are. So, the reason why this was on my mind was because I think, I think we're all in a period of kind of growth and discovery, maybe a forced period of growth and discovery. But if you are someone who is either taking this time to think about other things that you want to do in your life, or maybe you were already on the path to thinking about other things that you wanted to do, and those things that you want to do require you to get out there and really go hard and show up at a bigger level than you've ever shown up before, or just playing at another level. I'm going to be real with you all. That gets really effing scary. I'm not going to do a lot of cussing today. I'm going to say it gets really effing scary when you decide that you are going to show up as who you really are in a space that maybe isn't used to seeing you as who you really are. Not necessarily through any fault of your own, just because there's always kind of a time and a place for everything. But if you are thinking about how you want to move forward in your life, maybe you have a business that you want to start, maybe you want to change careers, maybe there's some dream that you have that has been on your mind for a really, really long time, and you have not figured out how to step up and step into that moment. It can be really scary when you decide to do it. So I'm going to share with you all 3 tips. I have my little post-it note because, like I said, I'm going a little bit off the dome today. But I'm going to share with you all 3 ideas that I have for how you can handle this fear. And when I say the word handle, notice I'm using that word particularly. I'm not saying how you get over the fear, because I know a lot of fears aren't necessarily made for you to get over. You might not get over them, but you handle it. You let fear ride along with you, but fear goes in the back seat. So here we go, jumping in. First things first is really keeping your eye on your target audience. So I know that people who are tuning in to me right now, I appreciate you. You are fabulous. Thank you for taking the time, but you might not be my target audience, and that is 100% okay with me. And actually, it's really, really okay with me. And if you're somebody who you maybe use social media to try to promote your business and you wonder why no one's really just like amping you up like that, or maybe you feel some kind of way about it, it might be because you're not necessarily in front of your target audience, and that is okay, because the people who need to find you, the people who are tuned into the message that you want to share, you're there for them. You're not there for everybody else, even though it can feel kind of awkward and kind of weird to have other people watching you. I don't want to say other people, but having people watch you that aren't, the people that you really want to be speaking to, it can get kind of awkward, and it's something that you just basically have to push through. But the way that you push through that is really keeping an eye and keeping your mind on who you are there for. Who is your target audience? For me, I know that I want to speak to women. I love speaking with women about how to live their life on their own terms. I started talking about living your life on your own terms many, many years ago. And initially I was talking to just all millennials, right? And I know that a lot of men still tune in to my live broadcast, or they will go and read my blog, and that's perfectly okay with me. But when it gets down to the nitty gritty, I know that I'm talking to women because I know about specific struggles, and particularly with secretly ambitious women, meaning you are somebody who knows that you are capable of doing more things, and you just haven't figured out how to let that out yet. But those are the people that I'm really trying to talk to. And everyone else who happens to see this broadcast or happens to see something that I post, if they find it valuable, cool, rock on with it. But I'm keeping my eye and keeping focused on who I really want to show up for. And that's super important. So that's idea number one. Idea number two, me and my little blue post-it. What's more frightening? Never living full out, showing up as you. I'm going to repeat that for you guys. What is more frightening? What scares you more? Never living full out, meaning that you never live as who you really are. That when you show up, you're not in your zone. You're not flowing as you, or actually showing up authentically as yourself and taking the risk that, I don't know, maybe you won't gel well with everybody, or maybe your message won't be heard, or maybe somebody might have something to say that just makes you uncomfortable because we're humans. But you're still out there and you're doing the damn thing. And that's really, really important. So that's one of the things to think about when you have those moments where you're having to really push through the discomfort of saying out loud and saying to the world, hey, this is me, this is what I believe, this is what I'm into, this is what I want to do. But knowing that you're showing up authentically as yourself, that you are really tuned in and tapped into being you, is going to mean more at the end of the day. It's going to mean more than deciding that you're going to live in this space of fear and scarcity because you're concerned about external things that are going on. It's very human to have that fear. It's very human to have that concern. Don't, let me fool you into thinking that even sometimes when I go live, and I've been doing this for a while, it still freaks me out a little bit. But at the end of the day, I am doing something that I love. And there's not, unfortunately, and this is one of my goals, is to get more people saying that they're doing things that they love. But that's super, super important to me. So even when I am nervous, I'm still going to hit that live button because ultimately I know that I have something to say and I want people to hear it, my people to hear it. Going back to idea number one. So the third idea that I have for you all today is remember that the one who is in the arena dares greatly. And this is actually a quote from President Theodore Roosevelt, but it's a quote that gets heard a lot because there's an author, her name is Brene Brown. She uses this quote all the time, and it's basically saying that if you're the person who is out there getting dirty, getting muddy on the field, this is like the only time you'll hear me use a sports analogy. If you're the person who's out there getting dirty on the field, if you're the one who's out there maybe getting your ass kicked, but you showed up, you were committed, you're actually doing the thing, then that's what matters. It doesn't matter what people are saying or what people think. The ones who are not in the arena with you, the ones who are not playing full out, and the people who are hiding from really stepping into their greatness by maybe, diving into the discomfort that they feel when they see you showing up as who you really are. Because I know a lot of times I'm lucky in that, I keep supportive people around me, but I definitely hear stories from people who don't have that, or they have people who try to put them down, people who laugh at their dreams, who are not, as supportive as they could be. And a lot of times, some of that comes from their own fear. It comes from some place where they are unable, or will say this, when they see you doing you and being who you really are, they start to get really triggered because they know deep down that they are not doing what they want to do and that they are not showing up as who they really are. And so you're making them uncomfortable. And when someone is uncomfortable, the first thing that they try to do is figure out, how can I not be uncomfortable anymore? How can I end this feeling that I have? And if you're the one that's giving them that feeling, not because you're trying to do anything, but because you showing up as you is triggering them and making them think about the times they didn't show up as themselves, then they might say something to you to try to knock you off a little bit. Either it could be some little slick comment, or maybe it's, I don't know, just shooting down your dream and saying something that's not helpful, that's not uplifting, that is not supporting you. One, you need to take note of those people in your life, because sometimes you may not be able to do anything about it. But also, I think the hardest thing is finding action and empathy for people like that. Like, you see people all the time on socials, on YouTube, TVs, whatever, who are out there. Like, can you imagine being Beyonce, and every time she puts something out, she knows that mad people are going to be talking like shit about her, right? Like, it's just going to happen. But she still does it anyway. And that really goes for anybody. Anytime I look at anybody who is out there and they're up on the stage of life, or people who are putting business ideas out there and they are really saying, this is me, I always want to applaud them, but I always think about that, because it comes with the cost of you not knowing, being able to control the reception and the vulnerability that really comes along with that. And that's not easy. That's definitely a space where, I have a lot of trouble. Not I've had a lot of trouble as if this is something that I've gotten over, but this is something that I definitely still very much live with. And sometimes that even goes for people that, I know, like my own friends who support me and, want to see me win. It can still be uncomfortable for me to know that they might be noticing me kind of stumbling along as I'm trying to get things together, as I'm trying to, get back to whatever it is that I'm taking on, which in this case is the Fab Life Project. It's my website. But I push through. I take the support. But at the end of the day, I try to be really aware of these three things, which is one, keeping my target and keeping my goal first. Two, thinking about the fact that I am willing to take the risk, because I would rather fall flat on my face than ever sit back and think I regret that I never showed up as me. And third, that it takes courage to dare greatly, and that when you're the person out there daring greatly and doing big things, sometimes people are going to have something to say. And guess what? As Tabitha Brown would say, I don't know if you guys know Tabitha Brown, that's their business. It's really not your business what anyone thinks about you at all, unless they want to make it your business, at which point you can decide how you want to handle accordingly. But I hope that those things were really, really helpful for you all. That's really it. I try to get in, say what I have to say, and hopefully, keep people thinking, because that's really my goal, is to get people thinking, not people. My goal is to get women thinking about how they can live their life on their own terms, whatever that might mean to them, and how they can really confront the self-doubt and challenge the mindset that goes along with that feeling that happens when you decide to live bigger, live greater, live obviously more fabulous. Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. If there was, something that resonated with you in this message, or something that you think will resonate with others, please feel free to share this. It's public. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, tune in to me next time. Right now, I've been going live every Wednesday, but I'm thinking about Sunday as a day, because I'm a little tempted to really get into this like self-development Sunday theme, when we are moving a little bit slower from our work week, and we can really think and get down to creating space to challenge ourselves to go to that next level. All right. It's been real, everybody. Thank you to everyone who tuned in live, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.